With no further explanation needed, she broke into a run, hurrying across to the small log cabin where they lived together. From above the inside door frame, she pulled down the carbine, checked it, then lay down, following his instructions to the letter. Satisfied, Sims turned and waited for the rider to come closer. The stranger sat astride a piebald horse on a brightly polished saddle of coal black. Big across the chest, his long hair fell to his shoulders, hat pushed back to hang down over his back, suspended by a leather cord around his throat. Across his back, a long-barreled musket hung in a frilled canvas scabbard. As he drew closer and reined in his horse, his coat fell open to reveal two ivory-handled navy Colts, butts inwards for a double-cross belly draw. Snorting, the horse pawed at the ground, and the rider leaned forward and grinned, his teeth stained brown with tobacco. "My name is Baudelaire Talpus," said the rider, running his tongue around the inside of his mouth before spitting out a long trail of tobacco juice. "And my name is Sims. You're late." Talpus frowned and leaned back in his saddle, measuring Sims with unblinking, alert eyes. "Late? What the hell do you mean by that?" "The fight is over. News came through but 2 weeks ago saying the president himself had granted a pardon to those who had taken up arms." "The Mormons?" Sims nodded. "Well, I ain't in the employ of no Mormons." The long-haired man's eyes twinkled with barely contained glee. "Not now. You're still late." The humor slowly drained from his face. "And how is it you're knowing who I am?" "People talk. I listen, see, remember." "I see. Well," Talpus rolled his shoulders, lifted his backside from the saddle, farting loud and long. Grimacing, he settled back down in the saddle, which groaned under his weight. "That's what I think of President Buchanan and all those rascals over in Washington. Brigham Young, too, never could quite grasp how they came to an agreement. Maybe Young will be given a governorship." He jutted his chin towards the log cabin. "Mind if I ask you to tell the little lady to point her gun somewhere else?" Without averting his stare, Sims nodded once. "Noreen, move back inside." Wriggling like a snake, Noreen withdrew, soon swallowed up by the murkiness of the interior. She's still pointing it." "As I told her to." A change came over the face of the man on the horse, eyes narrowing, jaw clenched. "Now, why would you do that?" "I might ask you what you're doing here, coming on to my place." Talpus grunted, moved around in his saddle as if it were not quite to his liking, and sighed. "I'm just passing through." "My advice would be to move on." Talpus leaned over to his left and released a second trail of tobacco juice to the ground. "I don't much like being told what to do, mister." "It's a suggestion." "Sims, you said?" The detective nodded, unblinking. Talpus sneered. "Don't think I know what you do, for employment, I mean." "No reason for you to." Talpus mulled Sims' words over, chewing hard on his tobacco. "The way you wear your gun makes me think you know how to use it." "I protect my own." "Well, you have a mighty nice home here to protect. Let's hope it stays that way. It's nice talking to you." Straightening himself up once more, Talpus flicked the reins, turned his horse about, and slowly made his way back the way he had come. The seconds trickled by, Sims remaining motionless until Noreen sidled beside him. Without a word, he slipped his arm around her waist. "Who was he?" she said, voice barely above a whisper. "Death on a horse, that's who he was." Her face came up, her eyes big, full of fear. "You think he'll come back?" Sims gnawed at his bottom lip for a moment. "I reckon you could guarantee it."